All right, good morning, folks. I'm going to make some crusty potato bread this morning, and we've done this before, but I'm out of bread. I'm out of a lot of things. I'm out of bread, I'm out of crackers, I'm out of tea. I'll be out of coffee later today. It's been 9 days since I've been able to leave my house. It's either been too cold, too snowy, or too sloppy. And it'll be at least another 2 days before the weather will warm up enough for me to get out of here. And for the last 9 days, I've been doing a lot of soul searching. So, while I make this bread, I want to tell you about the soul searching. Because you may have the same issues that I'm having, where your situation isn't the greatest, but you're afraid. You don't like your current situation. It's bad. And you're absolutely scared shitless that if you make a move, it's going to be worse. It's going to be worse. This is what has kept me in this horrible house with these terrible raccoons for the last 2 years. 2 years longer than I should have been here. The day the Big P ended, I should have had my bags packed and I should have left. But that is another story. And the final straw, and there's been millions of them, has been being trapped here for 9 days. Being unable to do anything. Unable to go out. And I've just had enough. I've just had enough. So I'm going to start making this. I need 3 1/4 cups of bread flour. That is going to be 360, 390. So I'm going to go ahead and put 390 grams of flour in here. Or 417, it doesn't matter. I need a 1/2 cup of instant mashed potato flakes. I'm just going to eyeball it today. I really loved this recipe when I made it the first time, and I'm out of bread, so I'm going to make it again. So, we'll see here. I'll just put, I'm sure that's a 1/2 cup. 1/2 cup of potato flakes, a tablespoon of white sugar. I need to find that. It's just been a really tough 9 days, and I've really done a whole lot of soul searching. And you know, people say, well, other people have it worse. Other people have it worse. Yeah, other people have it worse. You know what's worse than living where I'm living now? Living under a bridge. There's still a bright side to that. Because if I get tired of that bridge, I can pack up my shit and move to another bridge. This is much harder because I've got all this furniture here. But the one thing I've noticed in the last 9 days is that my tolerance for being here is done. It's the raccoons, it's the rent increase, it's the horrible management company. It's a lot of things. It's a lot of things. I need a 1.5 tablespoons of salt. 2 tablespoons of butter. That's about 30 grams of oil, and I'm going to tell you, I'm just going to use oil. I'm not going to use butter. If I can find my oil. Ah, it's right here. So, 1 1/4 cups of water. All right, I got to get the water. I'm going to move this. I can't measure my water if I didn't tear out the bowl first. So this should be 10 ounces of water. I got 8.8 in there. 11.1. 10.6. We'll do that. All right. So this gets teared out again. Pour the water in. And I need to add 2 teaspoons of yeast, which is the same 10 that I always use, so I'm going to go get that. But yeah, think about that. What's stopping you from leaving? And here's the deal. I got a lot of things working against me. I'm broke. That's the big one. I don't know where I want to go. That's another one. I have a whole lot of furniture that I've inherited from various relatives that didn't make it. And I live in a house that's falling apart. So it's not even a house. It's a fake house. And, you know, it's not about other people have it worse. It's about what is your limit? What is your limit? I want you to think about that. Because just because other people have it worse doesn't mean that you haven't hit your limit. Because my mom had severe depression, and she fought it the majority of her life. And she didn't get help, and she didn't make changes because somebody else had it worse. You know, there are starving kids in Africa. There are people who are homeless, living under bridges right here in the United States. There are people that don't have enough food to eat here in the United States. And if I didn't have a great food pantry, I'd be one of those people. So other people have it worse, so she was just fine. Here's the problem. She hit her limit years before she decided to make any changes. It's not about other people have it worse. It's about how much can you handle? What is your limit? What is it going to take? How bad does it have to be before you make a change? How bad does it have to be before you make a change? For me, there's been so many final straws, and the final straw was probably spending a week putting that Vivor bike together, and prior to that, fighting them for a week to try and get it delivered. And then right after I deal with all that, I get this horrible weather. You know what? There's my limit. On top of everything else, those three things were it for me. But let's put this in the bread machine and get it going. It's almost 11 a.m. This thing has really gotten to be a struggle to get it in. I don't know what's going on. Or maybe I do. Oh, I need the light on the camera, so let me see what's going on. What is in there? I can't see it. I think I need to wipe that out before I put the bread machine in. Thank you for bearing with me. I will wipe that out. Alright, so let me try it again. And I think the cycle is 1, so I'm just going to start it. Alright, so let's see how it's doing. It's been mixing for a minute. I think I probably need some more liquid in there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'll put some milk in. I think I'll put a little milk in. Milk tends to make the bread softer, which is why if I need extra liquid, I usually put milk in. I gotta make bread. I'm gonna make pancakes for breakfast, and I think that's about right. And I'm gonna make some hamburger helper. This is gonna be the other part of this video, is making this hamburger helper right here. So I'm going to make that tonight. It's just I'm so out of everything, and the thing that bugs me is I'm going to run out of coffee today. And there's very little I can do about it. It's 17 degrees out, snowing, and feels like 4 degrees. I just don't have clothes for that. So I'm going to put this on pause and make some breakfast. You guys have seen me make enough pancakes that, I don't need to show that. This might just be a day of cooking video, but here's my pancakes. I'm just making basic pancakes. There's one that's cooking. There's the bread. It's resting. And this is today. This is absolutely freezing. I decided to cover that door up. I don't think it was. At one point I thought I might try and leave today, but no. Well, I guess you can make me watch me make pancakes in this video. The bread is still going in the bread machine. And right after I get done with this, I'm going to start on the beef stroganoff. And somebody is going to say in the comments, but you have so much food. Why are you concerned? Why are you upset? I'm upset about a lot of things. This is just the final straw. I shouldn't have to wait 11 days to go to the store. I shouldn't have to run out of coffee and tea and butt wipes and all this other stuff. And some of you can say, well, but that's Indiana weather. Yeah, no, not really. Not really. Indiana weather tends to be very sporadic. So it might be cold and snowy one day, but it might be 33 degrees the next. This is sustained terrible weather for, it'll be almost 2 weeks. And then we'll get a 2-day reprieve and we're going to go back right into it. It's not normal for Indiana. And I was watching another YouTuber, Shelly, said this isn't normal for Tennessee. And I've seen people say it's not normal for Montana. It's not normal for Texas. It's not normal for Arizona. And at that point I started looking online to see where the warm spots are. Well, it's in southern Texas. I mean, on the, almost next to the Mexican border. Houston is a little bit warm, and South Florida is warm. The Carolinas are doing a little better than Indiana, too. So, I don't think that's normal. I don't think it should be. But we're dealing with weird weather, and I've just had enough. So, I need to figure something out and get out of here and go to someplace warmer. Although we're running out of places in the United States. Used to be, if you went down to Mississippi, it'd be pretty nice all year. That was all the farther you needed to go. Just hit the Mississippi border from the north side. When I lived in Tennessee, it was actually pretty warm too. We got, 1/8 inch of snow or ice or whatever it was. You couldn't even hardly see it on the roads, and they were crippled because they didn't have salt trucks. I bet they got them now. So Tennessee used to be a lot warmer. But I can't do it anymore. My joints are killing me too. It's, I was saying the other day, and I forget where I was saying it, I understand why as people get older, they stop living in these cold climates. It just hurts. And to add insult to injury, Indiana seems to have attracted investors from California. Honestly, I think that's who bought us, is some nasty investor from California. And they think that California rents are normal. So they're jacking up all the rents everywhere here in Indiana to match what they're seeing in California. And that's my opinion, but that's what I feel like is happening. So it's very expensive to live here now. 10 years ago, it was still pretty cheap. But in the last couple of years, it's really gotten really, 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 really expensive. Like a downtown studio apartment is like $1,600. Downtown Indianapolis. The apartments around here are $900 to $1,100 a month. And there aren't many. So it's just gotten too expensive too. All right, my pancakes are almost done. So I'm going to eat these, wash the skillet, and I'll be back to start on the hamburger helper. All right, so I have washed my skillet. I'm going to get the hamburger out here in a minute, but let's go take a look at the bread. Well, it's all steamy in there because it's rising, and I don't want to open the lid because it's just so freezing in my kitchen. So there's the bread. It's still cooking, and I'm about to start on the beef stroganoff. I always like to check my skillets about 1,000 times to make sure they're clean. Now, all this had in it was pancakes. I'm going to go ahead and fill the skillet with water, and then we'll get out the hamburger and see what it looks like. This came from the food pantry. I still have a little tiny bit of coffee, but boy, not much. All right, let me get out the hamburger. I was trying to see which one was newer. They're not telling me. This is the hamburger I'm going to use. I got it from the food pantry. And I'll do it like I do everything. I'll cook it up, taste it. If it tastes all right, we'll continue. I'm not real happy with it. What are those? I guess I'm going to put it in the pan, cover it with foil, let it thaw, and then I'm going to dig those out and figure out what that is. Looks to me like when they were putting it together, they cross-contaminated it with something. So I'm going to put some foil on top of that and thaw out the top as well as the bottom. And pull those out and see what they are. I doubt I used that pound of hamburger. Thankfully, I've got 2 more. I've got another one from the food pantry and one that I bought. All right, so let's see what we've got here. I'm going to try and hold the camera and dig this out. What is that? It's still kind of stuck in there. I still can't tell what it is. All right, well, I'll give it a few more minutes. All right, let's see if we can figure out what this mystery is in this hamburger. It's starting to cook a little more than I want it to, but let's see what's going on. You know what? I don't like it, and I don't like the way it smells. I am not using this. And that weird whatever it is isn't cooking out of it. I don't know what it is, but I know. The only thing I can say about it is at least I didn't buy it. All right. So I am sterilizing the skillet. I decided that whatever that was in that hamburger, I couldn't really dig it out, and I didn't trust it. So that falls under, when in doubt, throw it out. I didn't like the way it smelled either, so screw that. It's kind of why I get a food pantry order every week, even though I may already have that thing, because you never know what's good, what's bad, and what you're going to end up throwing out. Get some of this pancake mix up before it concretes itself onto the surface. So I'll probably need to do some reusable paper towels. I need to wash some, but I didn't know if that's going to happen today. It's already 12:30. It's already 12:30. It's not rising as much as I would like to see it rise, but it's pretty cold. All right, so let me try this other hamburger. I did something to my shoulder. It's acting up. To be honest, it's not a real mystery as to what I probably did to my shoulder. As I keep telling you, the raccoons here are terrible, so I was more than likely banging on a door or a wall or anything to get the horrible raccoon to stop. Another reason I need to get out of here, because it's literally in the lease that you can't do anything about the raccoons. You can't hunt them, you can't trap them, you can't do anything to get rid of them. So, I tell you, when I go to leave, that'll be something I tell them. Well, Sorry, I can't stay because I can't do anything about the raccoons. Okay, this hamburger brick looks a lot better. I don't know what was wrong with that other one. Well, I have a theory as to what happened to the other one. This is Indiana, and we do a lot of deer hunting. Everybody loves deer hunting. And that particular butcher shop processes a lot of deer, so probably what got into that hamburger was deer meat. But you can't do that. You know, you can't do that. You can't have deer meat in a pound of hamburger and not declare that it's there. The other thing is that, you know, it also could have been crusty beef from the side of the thing that they didn't clean up. You know, this crusty beef's been on the side of the container all day and they just worked it into what they're donating to the food pantry. Anyway, I'm going to finish sterilizing this skillet and then I'll put that hamburger in there. Alright, so we're going to hope that I have cooked this skillet enough. My bread still has about an hour and a half on it, so I still got plenty of time to make this beef stroganoff before the bread gets done. And if this particular pound of hamburger doesn't work out, I've still got one more. And technically I'll have more hamburger coming tomorrow too from the food pantry, because I've got it on my list. So I'll put this in the skillet. This looks better than what was in the other ones. Wipe this off. Alright, so now I'm waiting on that new hamburger to cook. Hour and 20 minutes on the bread. Let's see. Well, it's not going to rise a whole lot. I hate to let some of the heat out, but I had to see what it was doing. I don't know. It's risen quite a bit over there, but not so much over there. So, I don't know. It's still got some time on it. I mean, I'll eat it whether it rises or not. So, no big deal. Alright, I want to show you my bread. It's doing really good. This is the potato bread. So it's looking real good. It's got about 50 minutes left on it. Over here is that second pound of hamburger. I think it's going to be fine. Just waiting on it to cook just a little bit more. And then I'll taste it and see if it's really worth eating. Alright, so I am just chopping this up real fine. I'm going to taste it here in a minute. I want to point out that I did not drain the water into the sink. It's too cold for that. I poured it right into those right there. I just don't want any grease at all, no matter how little down the drains. It's too cold for that. Alright, so I need to find a fork and taste this and see if it's any good. And then I will start the beef stroganoff. The bread has another 40 minutes on it or so. I was looking at the weather to see when this really starts clearing up. It looks like the next deep freeze coming up is going to be the last. Let's hope, because I've about had it. Try this. If it tastes funny, well, I don't know. I think it's fine. I think I'd know it pretty immediately if it was bad. Yeah, 40 minutes left on that, so I'm going to start the beef stroganoff part of this. I guess I should show you how to make this. Have you ever made hamburger helper before? Here's the directions on it. You want to brown the hamburger, which I did. You want to stir in the water, milk, sauce mix, and pasta to heat it to boiling. Then you want to simmer it. So it takes a half cup of water and 2 1/4 cups of milk. So I need to get the water and milk into a bowl. So I need to weigh this bowl. I need how much? 4 ounces of water. 3 ounces of water. 3.9, I guess that's good enough. All right, so let me open this up. This is actually new. Oops. This is actually new. I've had this for a minute. Wait a minute, what is going on? There's supposed to be a sauce packet in here, wow. So there is supposed to be a sauce packet in there. Do you see it? Let me turn on the light. It's way down in there. I tell you. All right, let me try and get the sauce packet out. My hamburger's sizzling over there because it's taking me a minute to get the thing ready. All right, so 2 1/4 cups milk. That is 8, 16, 17, 18 ounces. That's a lot. Let me tear this, and I'll start with the, I guess I'll start with the 1/4. That would be 2 ounces. So let me start with the 2 ounces, and I'll pour this in. So there's 2 ounces of milk and 4 ounces of water. I'm going to pour that in. Now I need 16 more ounces of milk. Whoa, having a problem. You know, I think I'm going to have to do it in 8-ounce batches. There's 8 ounces. And put another 8 ounces in here. It's a good thing I got a lot of milk. There's some milk and water. I'm surprised there's no butter in this. I'll look again. I thought they used to have you put butter or oil in it or something. Nope, just beef, water, and milk, and the noodles. I'll put the noodles in. And the spice packet. Deluxe Strogonoff spice mix. Now my skillet is pretty full. If you have a larger skillet, of course, you can add some vegetables. My mom used to make hamburger helper, and she'd put a can of peas in it. I truly don't know how her hamburger helper fed 5 people. Mine sure doesn't. So there it is. There's the hamburger helper. It just needs to simmer. And here's the bread. It just needs to finish cooking. It's got 29 minutes left on it. 29 minutes. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to luck out. At the end of the day, you know, I'm going to eat pretty good today. I'm going to have hamburger helper and homemade bread. But I'm telling you, when I went to bed last night, it just didn't feel like it was going to be a good food day. But it'll turn out to be one, which is great. And I've also had just a tremendous amount of stuff on my mind. You know, if I don't want to be here, where do I want to go? That answer is I don't know. Because it's been so long since I've been anywhere that I don't know where I want to go. I think I'll have a better understanding of that once I hit the road again. And that's definitely in my future, because I just need to see what's out there. The only thing I'm seeing right now, as far as anything goes, is limitedly what I see on the news, which is all negative. What I can see outside my front door, which is a trailer park. I'm sure that's not a good example of what's out there. I can see what other people are doing on YouTube, and I can kind of see where they're located, at least, you know, the states sometimes. But I don't know what's going to work for me. And the best way to figure out what's going to work for me is to get back out there. And the question is, how do I want to do that? I'm not entirely sure, but in my soul searching over the weekend, I thought, if by the end of May, all I have is that trike bike, I might just buy a trike bike trailer or a bike trailer, load it up, and hit the road. If that's all I've got, that's all I've got. Now, hopefully things will go a little better and I'll have a actual vehicle with a thing on the back and I can just bring the trike bike with me. I have more than just right now with the trike bike. I think it's going to be great for getting around small towns and things like that, even if I have another vehicle. I decided I'm going to give this place another 4 months, and then I'm going to hit the road and I'm going to take a look around. Because I just don't know what's out there, and I think what I'm reading is overly negative. You know, the solution here is that I cannot stay. It's not good for my physical health. The walls are coated with the nicotine from the cigarettes that I used to smoke. The weather doesn't agree with me. This place is an opportunity wasteland. There's none. There's no opportunities whatsoever. I've spent the last 1.5 to 2 years searching for like the part-timest of part-time jobs, and they don't exist in this town. So even if I wanted to like go to work 2 days a week, I can't do it here. You know, it's got to be better somewhere else. And that's really what all my thinking and looking around has told me. This place is no longer useful for me. So hopefully by the end of May, I'll be in a little better position and I will be able to get out of here. I can tell you right now that the yard sales will start as soon as the freezing temperatures stop, because I got to get rid of a lot of stuff. Well, this looks better than I thought it would. I don't see any nasty mushrooms in it, so that's good. Alright, this beef stroganoff is done. It looks pretty good. I kind of surprised. It looked like it had mushrooms in it. And on the box, and I don't think it does, thankfully. Now I'm still waiting 11 minutes for the bread, and it'll probably be a little longer than that. So this can sit here and do whatever it needs to do, because it's still pretty hot. I just turned the fire off. Tastes pretty good. Alright, so I think that's good, and I'm just waiting on my bread. I already washed a bowl for it. There's my bowl. My potato bread is done. It's super, super hot, so I'm going to give it a few minutes. The beef stroganoff is done, so that's good. So here in a few minutes, I will plate this up and get some bread cut, and we'll try it. All right, that is one hot loaf of bread, but I'm hungry, so it is 2 o'clock. I can't believe it's 2 o'clock already. All right, so I'm going to cut this bread. Make sure my knife's clean. I'm sure it is. Okay, I'm gonna... So this is just that potato bread that I made a few weeks ago. I decided to make it again, and I decided to make it with some beef stroganoff. Oh man, did you hear that crust crackle? So there's my bread. There's my bread. That's why I love this bread. It makes such a great crust. Okay, I'll eat this slice in a minute. If you can see the steam coming off of that. So, let me show you what I got. I'm going to go eat. So, yeah, that's pretty tasty. All right. Well, if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I will talk to you later.